UAW-GM 500. It's drawn the multitudes here to this famed old track, the Charlotte Motor Speedway, on this beautiful day. Never looking better. 143,000 in attendance to honor the greatest race drivers in the business, the most competitive fields there are, the stars of the Winston Cup. The weather today, you couldn't ask for better. What a great day to go racing. Temperatures at 76, humidity 49, just a little bit of a breeze, nothing to bother. Sunny, well, that could be a factor today. This track is going to get sloppy and slippery and difficult to handle for even the very best. Down pit road they come, 43 strong, the best there are. A look at the Econologue starting grid. The 18th different man to sit on the pole this year, a modern-day record. That's Jeff Bodine from Chemung, New York, the Ford Thunderbird number 7, and Bobby Labonte, last year's pole sitter, alongside. Row 2, two-time winner of this event, Mark Martin, and the current point leader, Jeff Gordon, is there. Row 3, Earnhardt's back. The swagger is in his walk. This could be his day. And alongside 55-year-old Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin giant, Dick Trickle. For row 4, Ward Burton and Jeff Purvis. For row 5, Jimmy Spencer and Morgan Shepherd. In row 6, it's Ken Schrader from Missouri, and from the state of Vermont, Kevin LePage. Row 7, Derek Kopus, Spanaway, Washington, and Ted Musgrave. Row 8, Johnny Benson Jr. and Wally Dallenbach Jr. Row 9 is Steve Grissom, the pride of Alabama, and Brett Bodine. Row 10 is the man, the 80 and 86 winner of this event, Earnhardt and Jeff Green. Row 11 is Sterling Marlin, and there's Ricky Rudd alongside. Row 12, John Andretti, the winner at Daytona back in July, and Joe Nemechek. Row 13, Rusty Wallace. He won this event in '88, and Kenny Wallace. Row 14, David Green, Robert Presley. The 15th row is Jeff Burton, who won his 3rd race last week on the half mile at Martinsville, Virginia, and Michael Waltrip flanks him. Row 16, Chad Little, Lake Speed. Row 17, Bill Elliott is there, the 84 and 87 winner, and Rick Wilson. Row 18 is Ernie Irvan, the 93 winner of this event, and Todd Bodine. Row 19, Hot Stricklin, Gary Bradbury. Row 20, Jeremy Mayfield and Kyle Petty, who won the 600 here in May of '87. Then you come to row 21, provisionals, Bobby Hamilton and Ricky Craven from Maine. Back in that 22nd row, the 22nd row, the 43rd position, the defending Winston Cup champion, Texas Terry Labonte. And here are those that failed to qualify for this field. Marcus, young Steve Park, Elliott Sadler, Rick Mast, Greg Sachs, Mike Skinner. And for the first time in 25 years, Darrell Waltrip not in this starting field. This was Darrell walking away with Stevie the other day. They say the longest walk in racing is after you crash. No, indeed. This is the longest walk, and it happens to every champion sooner or later. One lap, and we will be racing at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Hosted awards today, $1.718 million on your AutoZone race analysis. 334 laps, 500 miles the distance. And that record set in '93 by Ernie Irvan at 154.5. Doubtful they're going to break it. We think they're going to break a lot of cars on these concrete barriers before this day is done. In cars for today's race, you're riding with Mark Martin starting 3rd, right in front of him, the pole sitter, Bodine. Here is Jeff Bodine right in behind the pace car. He's at Econologue, QBC Ford up to speed. Here's Kenny Wallace starting back there in that 26th position. Got Bobby Labonte giving you these pictures. He's outside of the front row. Todd Bodine from well back in the field. Give you what happens back there if we have trouble on this start. And Jeff Burton, what a story. Jeff Burton has been 3 wins this year. He starts 29th today. But my, didn't he look grand a week ago. On the 18-degree bank. settling down. Seat belts are synced. We're ready to go racing.
That's a 24-degree bank turn right there. But I'll tell you what it is. It feels flat when you're running 200 miles an hour down the straightaway into the corners.
Field up to wave them off. The crowd just ready to see this start. Here we are coming to the line. Bodine brings them down. Beautiful start.
Oh, we have trouble on the front straightaway before the green even gets out good.
Stricklin is around, and so is Ernie Irvan. Right on the start. Somebody had trouble up through the gears. They're clearing. They're away, and the race is on. Caution is out. Yellow coming down. Racing back to the line. It's Bodine hustling on the inside to make sure he's still going to start up front. Lap complete. Bodine first. Labonte second. And then Mark Martin right there in third spot. Burton in fourth. They blow them at the end of one. A look-see at what happened. Happens back around Stricklin and the car directly behind him. I wouldn't be surprised if that was Jeremy Mayfield that got a piece of that. His front end may be blocked.
What happens there is you anticipate the start when you're that far back, and everybody's expecting them to accelerate, and they start accelerating as they start off turn 4. The front group did not go until they got right at the flag. So when they got there, they were running like 70, 80 miles an hour, and everybody else was still running 45.
Here's the 28, Ernie Irvan, who wanted to change cars yesterday. They had an ignition fire. They tried to change cars. NASCAR said that was not enough of a reason to change in that last hour of practice yesterday. So that's the car in which they qualified. We'll take a quick break and return to Charlotte Motor Speedway. Trouble on the start. We're back with you live at Charlotte, North Carolina, and let's review what happened at the outset of this event, coming down to the flag.
Okay, as you can see, Michael Waltrip has already anticipated the start there, and that gets everybody over on the left-hand side there really going at it. As you can see right here, they make contact. Bill Elliott started to go. He realized that the race hadn't started yet. He put on brakes, and everybody else started stacking up behind him. Jeremy Mayfield in 37 got in the back of Hut Stricklin. Stricklin got into the 28, and that was the whole part there.
Back to green. Working the fourth lap. Sorting them out, going down into turn number 1. And there you see the number 90 of Dick Trickle up on the outside of Jeff Gordon. Doing for the lead. Down into the corner. Here comes Bobby Labonte in Joe Gibbs' number 18 making a run. Everybody has said, keep your eye on the Pontiac here. They have good downforce. The racetrack is slick. You can see already Bobby Labonte had made his presence known. Bobby Labonte scoots out in front. Pole sitter a year ago out in front as we work through the 5th lap, now into the 6th lap. Drawing away just a bit. Mark Martin deployed third as they go down the backstretch. You know, a car that's really moved back in the pack is Jeff Gordon. He has really dropped back. He started out right up front, and he's moved all the way back, I guess, into about 10th position. You see Jimmy Spencer going by. Dick Trickle just in front of him there. Down on the inside, you see Jeff Purvis in the 12. That's that white red numeral car. And Jeff Purvis had a great qualifying run in his 3rd start of the year for the Tennessee veteran. He qualified in 8th position. Great run for Purvis. See if it's going to hang in there and stand up. Bobby Labonte, the surprise at the start as he begins to roll it out. Meanwhile, here's Mark Martin down to the inside on Jeff Bodine for 2nd spot. If you want to see a race car really work in the corner, you watch the 6th car of Martin as he goes through there. Right on the bottom of the racetrack, you're looking back at Jeff Bodine as they go off the corner. Mark Martin also just behind this group is Dale Jarrett. He's just behind him. That's the car you see sticking his nose out on the right-hand side there. All 3 of these cars. Look at them right on the white line through 3 and 4. Jarrett back and forth in the number 88. Runs this track so well. Won in a Grand National race at the end of the 80s. And that was really his inauguration into big super speedway racing. And he's looking great this year, fighting for the Winston Cup title. The number 88, Dale Jarrett, tucked right in there and making a go of it at the present time. Holding out a fourth spot. And closing, taking it outside, which he rides so well here.
You know, Ken, we talked about this yesterday. Jimmy Spencer won the Busch Grand National race by running the high line. He set his car up to run up high, but right now it looks like Dale Jarrett can run either high or low.
Bodine really likes to hug that inside, as does Mark Martin. In the number 6, currently in second, and Bobby Labonte in that Pontiac. He scored his first career win here at Charlotte a couple of years back, is flying. He won here 2 years ago, 7 the pole last year. And the Joe Gibbs Racing team now has an advantage of 1 7/10 seconds.
That sounds like a lot, but one little wiggle on the racetrack and everybody's caught up.
10 laps are completed, 334. Let's get an update on one of those cars that was in that altercation at the start, Jeremy Mayfield.
Jeremy Mayfield, thank you, Ken. Jeremy's got left front corner damage. They went ahead and cut some sheet metal. They're going to get ready to paste it on there. They're working the sheet metal. Other cars that hit pit road this end got a few tires. Jeremy was 1. He got 4. Ernie Irvan had right rear end damage. They got 4 tires. But Stricklin was in for 4. And Kyle Petty came down pit road to check and see if he flat spotted his tires. He did not. He went right back out.
Bodine was way at the tail end with Mayfield. They're 41st and 42nd on the field. Back with the leaders another time.
Well, as you see, as going down in the corner there, that the 7 car, you're looking out of the back of Bodine's car. Jarrett is trying every way in the world to get by him right now because Mark Martin has opened up about a 15-car left lead. And as you said, Bobby Labonte has moved off to real close to 2 seconds now. Lead over everybody, so everybody better get in gear here. Bobby Labonte will lap the field if they don't get really after him here.
Yeah, but you don't want to get suckered into chasing the rabbit this early, do you?
Oh, yeah. Listen, anymore, every lap is the last lap.
Well, he's certainly building on it. It's over 2 seconds between Bobby Labonte and Mark Martin up in front. Battle for third. Here it comes. Dale Jarrett down the inside. Jeff Bodine up high. Jarrett taking the inside move, and he's got it covered. Alan Bestwick can tell us more about that number 24 that seems to be sliding back.
No, he's coming forward now. He's all the way back up.
But Ken, Jeff just didn't get a good restart when we went back racing. He lost the spot to Dale Jarrett right on the drop of the green flag. He lost another position trying to get his momentum built up. But as Buddy said a minute ago, he's starting to pick his way back toward the front. Nothing wrong with the car at all. And he'll get back up there before too long.
He is in 6th at the present time. Running just in front of Ward Burton in the 22. Now with that move around the 22, that'll put him up to 5th as he comes to the stripe. And the Durashine aerial platform looking at Gordon. Fell back to 10th, now back to 5th. Jeff Bodine seems happy to hold on to the 88, trying to draft his way back up and collect those 2 leaders. As they run now, it's 2 2/10 seconds between Bobby Labonte in front and Mark Martin in second. Then 4 seconds. Another 2-second separation back to Jarrett, running with Bodine.
Again, there's a guy on the move just behind this group right here, and you know who he is, Mr. Excitement. Jimmy Spencer's moved right up here. He's just behind, let's see, he's in 7th spot now, so Jimmy's on the move. Yesterday, he was unbeatable. Mark Martin really tried everything to get by him. Jimmy Spencer won a very exciting race. He runs well here at Charlotte. Look for him to be up front all day.
And he's pulled around and now he continues to climb up through the numbers. Spencer won a dramatic race with Mark Martin side by side. Here's the man everybody's talking about all week, Earnhardt, now to 10th position. He started 19th. Earnhardt closing on Dick Trickle in the Trinity Don Levy, number 90. That's how he's moved up and how fast he's done it.
You know, he's had a little giddy up in his step all week and a little twitch in his eye. Every time you talk to him, he says, I'm back. I have a chance to win this weekend. I'm going for it.
Somebody said this morning, I'm going with Earnhardt to win this one. The swagger is back. Here he is, just in front of Morgan Shepherd in number 1. This is the man leading. Bobby Labonte out of Corpus Christi, Texas, has the advantage by 2 6/10 seconds. They're up and cheering. Gordon's making his move. We follow the storyline. Jeff Gordon, 135-point lead over Martin coming into this race, and he is storming through the field. He's just blown by Jarrett. He's just put Bodine away as he continues to close up in the third spot and try to run down those leaders then at the present time. We are showing 22 laps complete. Chevrolet was given another quarter-inch on the spoiler. 6 inches on the blade in the back of that car. And as these cars lighten up on fuel, it looks like that Chevy's beginning to go.
What I'm looking at right now is Jeff Gordon nailed to the racetrack. He passed Bodine just a second ago on the outside going into the corner. That is where downforce on the race car. And what that means is the air going over the top of the car is pushing down on the trunk lid, adding maybe 400 or 500 pounds of downforce on the rear tires, letting them get a lot better grip in the corner.
Here's that Gordon, number 24, and there's the Bodine Ford that's set on the pole at 184 miles an hour plus. Meanwhile, here's Earnhardt in the number 3, and he's still having the dickens of a time getting around Dick Trickle. 9th and 10th, respectively, there. Earnhardt, 2 second places in a row, knocking on the door. Confidence level really up this morning as you walk through the garage area. That whole team looked like the cat that swallowed the canary.
You know, somebody must have made Bobby Labonte mad before this race started. I guarantee you he's checked out. He's in another area code from anybody else. Right now, he's going into turn 3. Mark Martin is at the center part of the back straightaway. He has a huge lead right at the moment.
How about 4 seconds? That's the difference between Labonte at the stripe. And Mark Martin closing up.
Well, we'll just watch people that are racing each other because Bobby Labonte's taking care of business out front, but these guys are still having a war back here for position. As you see, Dale Jarrett there really putting the heat on Bodine, still trying to get by him. Made a pass a while ago, slipped a little bit. Bodine got back by him and has not been able to take that spot back from him.
Look at the grill on Bobby Labonte, huh?
Well, that's good downforce, but you also have very little opening on the front of these cars for air to get to the radiator, so hopefully that won't give him a problem. I'm sure he's watching the gauges, and the spotters probably already spotted it on the front of the car and said, okay, keep your eye on the water temperature. If it goes way up, we'll have to do something about it. As long as it runs cool, that's not a problem. It's actually the way you block off a car to qualify. You put stuff over the front so it makes it quicker. But boy, that's a lot of area there covered up.
And he picked that up, didn't he?
I guarantee you he picked it up. And
somebody hot dog wrapped.
He certainly wouldn't have put that on there to start the race.
The number 5 car out here trying to make an impression in this 500. There it is. Terry Labonte from dead last, and Randy can tell us more.
I tell you, we talked about how this team has worked this weekend and how they've struggled really in the last 10 races. They've all got smiles on right now. He has gone from 43rd and is creeping inside the top 20 with a pass on the 4 car. Randy Dorton, the acting crew chief down here, has worked on notes. They've made phone conversations with Terry last night. These guys are coming around. I told you not to count them out. And I'll tell you what, he's really putting the wood to them right now. Coming up rather nicely.
Sure is, up into 20th as he rolls around the Sterling Marlin number 4. Bobby Labonte in front. There may be a trace, just a trace, a telltale of smoke, or maybe some leakage coming out, according to scanner reports on Bobby Labonte, that lead car. Meanwhile, you're watching Terry back here as he drifts up through the field. Continues to be the 4th place battle. Bodine and Jarrett. You seem willing to lock onto each other and see if they can climb up in here. Make any impression on that Pontiac that continues to blow them off. And you've got a Ford in 2nd, and you've got the Chevy of Jeff Gordon in 3rd. Dale going up to the outside. Marshall's up there. Whistle down through this main straightaway area into the fastest portion of the track. Down here at turn 1.
You know, right now the guys are really evaluating what the cars are doing out there and talking with the crew chiefs about things that they want to change, because all day long this racetrack will get hotter, slicker, and when they make their first pit stop, the cars that are back in the field right now, all of a sudden, with the right improvements on it, will be flying around here. But look at Bobby Labonte go.
Leading now by 6 seconds. And there is a story developing. Steve Burns has it.
Well, Ken, just to back up what Buddy Baker just said, one of the reasons Bobby Labonte will be a favorite today is tires. Now, there are 2 kinds of tires, stickers, which are brand new, and scuffs, which have a few laps on them. A Goodyear tire engineer told me this morning that Bobby Labonte is an absolute master at working on tires. He will run a few laps on a set of tires, maybe as few as 2. He might run one corner a little bit harder than the others. He'll get those tires the way he wants them and then take them off. If he feels one tire isn't right in a set, he won't go with that set of tires. An absolute master at feeling how a tire relates to the racetrack.
Well, he learned from the master because no one was better in tire tests for years than his brother Terry Labonte. And I think that's a family tradition.
Terry has so much discipline in a race car that I'm sure he passed it on to his brother. He said, okay, here's the things you need to feel in a race car. Now take my car out and see what a good car feels like, and you have something to look for when you go back testing.
34 laps, 51 miles have been completed in the UAW-GM 500. Bobby Labonte is smoking them off here in the early going. Back with you live at 38 laps into the 334 that make the distance of 500 miles. In your race summary, 2 lead changes thus far. Cole and then this guy. This guy who now has a clean grill, whatever it was, that little piece of paper, and covered up part of the air induction system on that Pontiac. It's gone away. But the problem may not have gone away. Let's go down to Steve Burns. Steve, what did you learn down there from that pit crew about how that thing is running?
Ken, I just spoke with Mark Cronquist, who's the assistant engine builder on the 18 of Bobby Labonte, and he said the water temperatures are okay. The oil temperature has gone up about 20 degrees. He said it should not be a problem, but they are a little bit concerned.
Well, there you have the latest on Bobby Labonte. Everyone concerned he might have been building up some heat. Now take a look right here. Here's the 99, Jeff Burton, and he is on a run. He's under Earnhardt, setting Earnhardt back again. And after starting 29th, he is up to 8th in this shuffle. Jeff Burton now into the 8th position as he slices underneath Earnhardt and continues a roll toward the front from 29th, starting berth. And there are the moves thus far.
That's a familiar song he's doing right there. Every week we see the 99 of Jeff Burton start off just a little bit slow. As the race goes, he gets tougher and tougher as he goes. And Buddy Parrott is a master of setting that car up to get good side bite in the corners. Look to him. If we have a caution, he gets back up there, and he'll make them all earn the money today.
Morgan Shepherd up on the high side in the 1. Dick Trickle right there in the 90. As they close in a little on number 3, and here comes Dick Trickle down on the bottom. Involved in a hard crash yesterday down in turn 1 in the Grand National race. So he cut a tire down, and he really slammed the wall. There's Derek Cope getting into it. Derek off with a new team next year, and Steve Levitt, who helped turn that Allison team around briefly a year ago, is going with him. A very good fabricator. Builds very good equipment. They could be formidable a year from now. Looking pretty good right now is Derek Cope. Cope being shown in the 11th position. 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Right here, Ricky Rudd moving along nicely. He's up in that 12th position, the number 10. I want to welcome you to Charlotte, North Carolina. Hope we have a lot of new viewers enjoying today's race. Yesterday's race was simply sensational. Jimmy Spencer and Mark Martin gave lessons 101 in running side by side, wide open. And here's Jimmy Spencer now, closing in on the number 7. This will be a battle for 5th. Bodine is there, and Spencer trying to take it away.
Spencer right now is just working him over right now. You can see his car is still able to run on the bottom of the racetrack. I was watching several of the cars lap back. They're beginning to rim ride. That means the cars are probably very, very loose, or they have a handling problem that won't let them go to the bottom like Jimmy Spencer is able to do in that 23 there.
Window, buddy, on this one. You should be seeing them if they stay green. We had that one caution if you just joined us just at the start. On the start, we had 3 cars bouncing off each other. Mike Hogwood on that 46 car.
Wally Dolan back on pit road. They've got the hood up on the car. There is some problem with the engine. They feel it's in the carburetor. Wally says it is just not running. They are putting the pins in the hood, and they look like they're going to send him back out, but it is not running under full song right now.
That doesn't sound good for Wally Dolan-Back Jr. So here you have Bodine, pole sitter, chased by Spencer, winner a day ago. 5th, the issue here. Jeff Burton is just behind them in 7th. And we have Earnhardt 8th. Morgan Shepherd is in 9th. Jarrett Cope currently 10th. And Rudd has moved up into 11th. Johnny Benson has come to 12th. Steve Grissom 13th and tripled back to 14th. He slipped away.
There goes Spencer. He said, hey, I'm not catching Bodine. I'm going to go up there and see what the racetrack's better up on the high side. He took Bodine's line and moved right in on the quarter panel there.
Moves it right back down to the bottom. That Travis Carter car seems to work any place he wants to put it, buddy.
Well, you have to have a lot of discipline. When the racetrack gets real slick like this, driving it off in the corner too hard, gaining 5 or 6 car lengths, getting in the corner can only create a problem. You can't get back in the throttle in the middle of the corner.
Let's go to Randy and an update with Randy Pemberton on that 28 car.
Well, Ernie Irvan has struggled all weekend. Yesterday in practice, the 28 Haviland Ford in the final happy hour practice caught fire. They tried to put it out, damaged a lot of the electrical components. They tried to roll a backup car off. NASCAR said it wasn't worthy of that, so they had to fix the car that they have. They've got it back out on the racetrack today. Unfortunately, he is struggling badly. He is already a lap down, just a mere 50 laps into this race. I talked to his co-crew chiefs. They said there really isn't a whole lot they can do with it. They'll try and work on it, but Ernie Irvan is struggling here today.
Back in 31st position, and you can see the aerodynamics. They've been busted up there. The whole rear deck was torn up. That video you saw was from happy hour yesterday. A chagrined Robert Yates, not very happy with that NASCAR call that said they could not bring the second car out. That fire was not serious enough in the ignition system, and to roll the car in which they qualified today. 31st at the present time. And again, that car was bunted, drop kicked on the start. One of 4 involved in that altercation just as they came to the line to take green. 50 laps are now complete. 75 miles are down. 334 the distance in the UAW-GM 500. Bobby Labonte making mincemeat. Charlotte Motor Speedway, and here he comes. Just rolling them over. Bobby Labonte.
I tell you what, right now, Bobby Labonte, when he guessed on this setup, he hit it directly on what it takes. He's got Rusty Wallace already a lap down. This car is just mowing him down. He takes no time passing. You can see Michael Waltrip on the outside there. He'll be 3 car lengths ahead of him. Watch them when they go down the straightaway here. Basically the same. They run about the same speed down the straightaway. When they hit the corner, Bobby Labonte's car is a rocket ship. Watch this right here. You talk about putting distance on people.
That's knocking off a 25th position car. Only 1 caution just at the start, and since then, we're up to 57 laps completed, showing 85.5 miles. Next 10 laps, you may see some guys ducking on the pit road. Rusty got a lap down early here in May, and he stormed back, and he finished in 2nd place in that event. In fact, we're beginning to see some cars in now. Big trickle just coming onto pit road.
As a general rule, when you go a lap down, you'll come in and adjust on the car, get fresh tires, and try to make some of the deficit up on a car like this. You see Bobby Labonte going down here. That's Kyle Petty just in front of him. He was the quickest in practice yesterday.
Alan Bestwick.
Dick Trickle's car was out of gas when he came in 58 laps into the event. It stalled for a minute. As soon as they began dumping fuel into it, he fired back up. 4 tires down and away for the Heilig-Myers team.
87 miles and out of fuel, and Wally Dallenbach out of luck. He's back behind the wall. He'll be a retiree at first. Wally Dallenbach back just to the left of victory lane, working on the car, and I think he may have shut it down for the day. Here's Kyle Petty's number 44, buddy. He's right up in second position.
Yesterday, he was the quickest guy by computer on the racetrack, and you can see Bobby Labonte is just mowing him down as they head down into turn 1. He passes down through the dog legs. Well, watch when they get in the corner. This is where that car is awesome. Look at him just pull 2, 3 car lengths in one corner.
Watching Kenny Wallace on pit road. Nemechek has also pitted, as well as Brett Bodine. This all happening at lap 60. Bobby Labonte is certainly having it his way early in the going. I don't know what game Joe Gibbs is watching today, but I'll bet you he's got a monitor and he's looking at this thing and having his fingers crossed.
Now, just like I was telling you, Kyle Petty come in. Here comes Rusty Wallace down the pit road. Once you get a lap down, you better get in there, make your stops, even though the leader's still out there. You come in, get fresh tires, you get 2 or 3 laps advantage back, and it really helps.
So far, an area caution. Here's Allen.
Rusty Wallace said his car was just all over the racetrack. Both ends of the car skating all over the place. That's why he got a lap down a little while ago. 4 tires for the Miller Lite Ford. Rusty Wallace is down and away.
We've got a crash, not a crash, but a spin down here on pit road. Bobby Hamilton going all the way.
What he done, he come in, he's got the first pit there. He come in too hard and overshot the pit, locked the brakes up. It spun right in front. Jeff Gordon comes down pit road.
Hamilton finally gets righted and comes to a halt as Gordon comes in. Bradbury also pitting now. See who else is in here.
You asked me what the fuel window was a while ago. It looked like around 62 to 65, yes.
Alan Bestwick.
Jeff Gordon is in. The Rainbow Warriors going to work. Right side tires already done. So far, a very smooth stop. Topping off the gasoline tank now. Left side tires going on Gordon's Chevrolet. Everybody down and away. No problems at all. Gordon's headed back onto the racetrack. 63 laps now into the race.
20.1 seconds. And there is a 15-second penalty on Bobby Hamilton. After that wild melee when he stopped up here at the very top of pit road. He is the 43rd space. The number 1 space going into turn 1 is Jeff Bodine.
Bill Elliott comes into pits. Everybody's beginning to leak into the pits here. You can see the 22 of Wartburg. I wouldn't know right now. It looked like Bobby Labonte is running so effortless, but I'm sure he's getting within 4 or 5 laps of stopping.
Randy Pepper.
Well, Terry Labonte came in, took on 4 tires, no adjustments, likes the race car. He's back out.
Earnhardt on pit road. Elliott back out here, trying to retrieve some distance. Jeff Gordon. We may get a penalty here. Too fast on the exit. Hey, let's get back on pit road and see what that's all about. Alan Bestwick.
The NASCAR official is standing in Jeff Gordon's pit. The signboard is out. He is going to have to come back down pit road, which he is doing right now. He will have to stop completely in his pit, go back on the racetrack. Tremendously costly for Jeff Gordon. Here he comes, the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship leader rolling to a stop right now. Keeps the engine revved up, gets the signal to go. And the penalty is assessed to Jeff Gordon. He heads back onto the racetrack.
Meanwhile, the 18 at Pontiac gets it flowed. And onto pit road comes your leader. Here's Steve Burns.
Hey, Ken, and actually Joe Gibbs is down here in the pits watching Jimmy Maycar's crew come to the attention of Bobby Labonte. They are not making any chassis adjustments. That shouldn't be surprised the way this car is running. Mark Martin is also due here momentarily. 4 tires, no chassis adjustment. Bobby Labonte is gone. 19.1 seconds.
At lap 66, leader is in. Mark Martin now pitting. He had been second, briefly held the lead. We saw that 19-second pit stop, and Steve Burns awaits Mark Martin. Steve?
I talked to Jimmy Fennick just moments ago, Mark Martin's crew chief. He said they weren't going to make a slight adjustment to try and tighten the car up. Mark's been complaining that the car was loose a little bit. Right side tires on, and the jackman comes around for Jimmy Fennick's team. And again, going to try and tighten the car up. It might take some tape off the front of the grill. 18.1 seconds.
Nice stop. Nice work by Jimmy Fennick and that team for Mark Martin to get him back out here. Bodine's number 7, yet to pit.
Well, he's stretching it out there, and you never know, it may pay off later on to do that.
Here's the 12 car of Jeff Purvis that qualified in 8th. Great run for him. Jeff Purvis had briefly inherited first place. Ernie Irvan in and out again.
You know, a lot of people always, you know, they say, how do they know when they're speeding on pit lanes? There's white lines down the whole pit lane here. They're spaced just exactly the same all the way from where you come in the pit road to where you go out. They can time you in between white lines, and if you get there too quick, they know you're speeding. So that's how they catch you. You see the white lines there? That's how they do it.
Randy Pemberton can tell us more about that.
Well, one other thing they do, guys, is during the pace laps, they will break the field up into 2 divisions, top 25 guys say, and then the rest of the field. And as they're running around out there, they will keep the pace car at a certain speed, the same speed that would be pit road, and the guys that are driving these cars will look at their tachometers. For instance, Terry Labonte read his tach before the race, 4,200 RPMs in second gear. He knows that when he comes down pit road, that's the RPM that he needs to turn, therefore he won't be speeding.
And a driver every once in a while will say, I believe I can get by if I turn 4,800 down through there, and that's the problem.
No problems for Bobby Labonte in that 18. He's in and out and still leading by 6 2/10 seconds over Mark Martin in second, and then you have Dale Jarrett running third. 99. That's Jeff Burton in 4th. Jimmy Spencer 5th. Jeff Bodine 6th. Earnhardt is 7th. Terry Labonte is up to 8th from 43rd, followed by Schrader and Rudd. NASCAR Winston Cup Series comes to the Charlotte Motor Speedway on TBS. Jeff Gordon a lap and 3 seconds behind the leader, Bobby Labonte, after a stop-and-go penalty here. Here's the man that's out in front. Bobby Labonte has a 5 9/10 second advantage. Hey, let's take an STP pit roundup. Collect what happened in this first series of green flag stops along pit road.
Ken, obviously the big story on the first stop was the penalty to Jeff Gordon. A stop-and-go penalty has put him a lap behind race leader Bobby Labonte, plus another 4 seconds back in 24th position. So Gordon needs to get by Labonte, hope for a caution comes out so he can come back around and get the thick of it again for the win. Let's go to Mike Hogwood.
Dale Earnhardt had a good pit stop, but he was complaining about handling, complaining that the car was too tight on the racetrack. Well, they loosened it up, and Dale has just told his crew that it is too loose. He can barely hang on. They're going to wait till the next round of pit stop and hope that this racetrack can come to him, because he does believe this is his day. Steve Burns.
Mike, Bobby Labonte just radioed crew chief Jimmy Maycar and said they're a little bit loose in the middle of the turns like they were in happy hour practice yesterday. Now, it's very warm today. The team will be looking at track temperatures. This is a thermometer. Right now, the track temperature is 116 degrees, and we'll follow that during the day. Let's go to Randy Pemberton.
Well, as we reported earlier, Terry Labonte's progress in this race has been stupendous. He is up to 7th. He radios the crew and tells them the car is absolutely beautiful right now. The other guys down at this end of pit road have struggled. Ernie Irvan, Kyle Petty, Jeremy Mayfield, all a lap down and struggle on the racetrack. Back upstairs.
Gordon has gone from 24th up to 20th after that stop, that penalty. Taking a look at where they were and where they are.
Boy, that's an interesting thing. Come in first, went out first. Martin come in second, went out second. I know Martin right now is slapping his hands. He's saying, hey, you want to talk about gaining some points. Gordon's a lap down right now. I'm running second. Car looks very good. Mark Martin is gaining on Jeff Gordon as we speak.
Yes, he is. Down to 5.9 now. It was well over 7 seconds between first and second spot. First stop for fuel and tires. Green flag condition here. Just joining us on the very start of the race. We had 4 cars in the jam session right at the start-finish line. Since then, They have been flying at a record blistering 156.9 miles an hour, buddy.
Well, you're looking back at the Bobby Labonte's car, and you see Kyle Petty there just a little while ago before he made a few corrections on that chassis before that first pit stop. Kyle Petty could not even run in the same corner with Labonte. Now he's got his car dialed in. He's one of the quicker cars out there. You see him running with Bobby Labonte and looking very, very good.
That leads pop back up to 6 and 5/10 seconds now.
Yeah,
down to 5.7. I guess in traffic he found a hole.
You'll get weary looking at that because Bobby Labonte has such a lead right now. He's being very cautious when he passes cars to lap them. You see him going by Wally Dallenbach on the bottom there, the 46 car. He's putting these guys away. It looks like some of them are just, waiting on him to get there.
And Dallenbach has come back from the garage area. He went all the way in. He did some work on the car. And he's back out, still running in 43rd position, as you saw him there. The leaders, Labonte, Mark Martin, Dale Jarrett, Jeff Burton, the front four. Jimmy Spencer, 5th. Earnhardt to 6th. And Terry Labonte lies in 7th spot.
I just noticed Robert Presley takes the 77 car to the garage area. He must have a problem they don't feel that they can fix because he's headed to the garage area.
Average speed at 157 miles an hour as Bobby Labonte continues to clip this field. Only 13 cars are now left on the lead lap. That's a big advantage that Bobby Labonte has put down.
Yeah, you can see him there. That's Todd Bodine for you guys that hadn't got a chance to see the new car that he's going to race next year. He's right behind Bobby Labonte there in the Tabasco car.
4 lead changes. Cautions, just 1. Very beginning. Took 3 laps to sort it out and get them restarted. And it's been Bobby Labonte since the beginning. 77 laps. The only other leader in the event. That number 7 car that's set on the pole, Geoff Bodine. There he is.
Look at Bobby Labonte right under the pole setter there. Bodine goes a lap down. He just went by Wallace there. That's Kenny Wallace. This car is incredible right now.
13th place car just going a lap down. The pole sitter, Geoff Bodine.
Shot. You can see every bit of you look at the spring movement as he starts in the corner. The right side is almost dragging the pavement. Pontiac has the most rear spoiler and most front spoiler of any car on the racetrack, and right now downforce is really paying off for the Pontiac.
Well, we said he was out again. Now he's in again. Now he's out again. Wally Dallenbach back to the garage area another time, and we're watching number 7, the pole sitter. Bodine is also coming on pit road. He is having the kind of day you dream about. Here he is, ready to lap the 10th place car. He has lapped Benson when he was running 13th. He lapped Elliott, and now he's up here after Grissom. He has taken Kyle Petty, and he just is decimating this field. Let's go down to that pit area, Bobby Labonte, and talk to the proud owner.
And that's Joe Gibbs, Ken. Joe, you guys are really dominating the competition today. Can you keep up this pace?
Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to hear you, but we're extremely pleased. Obviously, we're just real early in the race. We're just trying to stay smooth, tell Bobby to stay smooth, just find his line and keep working. We got a long ways to go here, so we're going to just hopefully we'll be around at the end here.
Joe Gibbs looking on. Understand now that when he does his football show, he has a monitor so he can watch his car if it's running that day.
Boy, he's got race cars everywhere, drag racers. And his new addition, we got to watch Tony Stewart yesterday in the 300 here at Charlotte. Believe you me, boys, it's not going to be long for that guy's marquee.
He's for real. 3rd place in just a whale of a race. Well, right now, Bobby Labonte is exerting the kind of pressure. The 95 600 winner here is, well, he's up to take out, let's see, he's rolled by Grissom. He's after Ricky Rudd right now. Mike Hogwood has a report to file.
Geoff Bodine has gone a lap down. He has also come on pit road. They've tried several adjustments to try to get that 7 car to handle. Nothing seems to work. Now Jeff radios his crew. He thinks he has a right front shock that's gone bad. It's been a tough day so far for the number 17 with Geoff Bodine.
Average speed at 159 miles an hour. That's way over the record. They're at 159.6 at the present time, with Bobby Labonte setting this torrid pace here today. Records being broken every 10 laps by the Joe Gibbs team and Bobby Labonte in his 153rd start. It looks like he's just cruising toward a 5th win. But you know how those things go, buddy.
Let me tell you, we've watched enough racing, you and I, Ken, over the years. Just a big lead means absolutely nothing, but the car is so good. But look at Kenny Slater right here and Ricky Rudd as they go at it. There's racing going on the racetrack. Bobby Labonte just has his car a little bit better than everybody right now, and it makes all you have to have is just that little bit. Talking about the 7 car and the shock going bad, what that is, it's like riding a pogo stick. When that shock lets that spring just jump up and down, the front of the car just is almost uncontrollable.
Ricky Rudd, the 9th place car, coming by, having no problem. Alan Bestwick can give us an update on the number 2 car out there this afternoon, Rusty Wallace.
But Ken, at our happy hour show yesterday afternoon from here in Charlotte, Rusty Wallace told us he had a great race car. He thought he was going to be very much a factor to win. Then in the opening run of this race, before the first pit stop, his car was skating all over the racetrack. He couldn't keep up. He fell a lap down to the race leader early. Obviously now a lot of people are a lap down. On this set of tires, Rusty says he's much better. He is in 21st position now, 1 lap behind the race leader. Remember also from happy hour yesterday, they had a little pinhole leak in the engine, had to put a new motor in this morning. Rusty says this engine is just as good, and that part of the race car is fine.
It's shocking how well Bobby Labonte's Pontiac is putting it on him. The last time we saw a Pontiac in Victory Lane, you go back a whole year to Phoenix, Arizona, with Bobby Hamilton driving for Richard Petty. Been a while.
Oh, it has that, but Bobby Hamilton on that particular day looked like what we're looking at now, what Bobby Labonte doing to the field. You can see Bobby right now. I mean, he's absolutely mowing them down high up on the racetrack there. Next corner, he'll pass him on the bottom. He does not care. The car is perfect, high or low.
And here he is up on that 9th place car, Ricky Rudd, the number 10. And the green Interstate car is up there for a shot at lapping the 9th place car as we come to the 100th lap. We haven't seen this kind of domination since Crazy Horse decided to pay a call on General Custer.
I'll tell you what, talking about a crazy horse, that Pontiac is a crazy horse.
Sweeping down to the inside, the 27 moving along. Rick Wilson getting a call here. Getting a good shot today. He was in the Grand National race as well yesterday, but there's the man of the hour.
Hey, race fans, Budweiser asks, who won? October 9th, 1994, Charlotte Motor Speedway. After scoring his first Winston Cup pole, Ward Burton in car number 31 drove away from the competition. Meanwhile, the 18 of Dale Jarrett and Ricky Rudd in car 10 were battling their way through the field. After starting 38, Dale Earnhardt in car number 3 raced door-to-door with the 24 of Jeff Gordon. So who won? Check the list of contenders. The answer after the break. Dale Jarrett recorded his 3rd career Winston Cup win at Charlotte. Luck wasn't with the other contenders like pole sitter Ward Burton, who lost a tire and crashed early in the event. Jeff Gordon and Ricky Rudd were involved in late race fireworks, which put them both in the wall and out of the race. After the restart, Dale Jarrett moved into the lead for the first time with only 4 laps to go and on to victory lane. Who Won was brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. This Bud's for you.
At lap 102, 153 miles into the event, a major crash in turn number 2, and it involved the leader, Bobby Labonte, in for 4 tires now. Take a look at what happened when Kevin LePage and the pole sitter, Jeff Bodine, had the problem initially. There they are up against the wall. That's LePage in the 91 down to the bottom. And now we start collecting cars hard on the binders, and they say that whole 4th turn was all oil, buddy.
Yeah, I think Kevin LePage may have had engine problems. As you can see there, everybody's just doing the best they can. Cars sliding everywhere. That's Bobby Labonte there coming across the racetrack, the race leader. Oh, there it is. Ricky Rudd got into the back of the 8 of Stricklin. That's where the oil come from. That's probably an oil cooler they busted on the front of the 10 car when Bobby got sideways there.
But that 7 and the LePage car had already gotten trouble up in the wall when that one happened. They may have put the oil down right there that collected the rest. Riding with Bodine. End of a day for pole sitter. 18th different pole sitter. This year was Jeff Bodine. He will not be around for the finish on this one. That one looks bad. Bodine motioning. Wants some help there. He may try to get it back out and go for some points. Such a great weekend started on Wednesday. Another look.
How lucky can Bobby Labonte be?
Wow.
That was a bad break to spin over there, but he did not touch one thing. Got sideways. He's waiting for the pit road. Now Bobby Labonte is coming in the pits as we watch these guys go around here.
Ricky Rudd out of it, and let's find out what the story is there.
Ricky Rudd's car pulled behind the wall, obviously absolutely mangled. Ricky, are you okay, first of all?
Yeah, I'm in good shape. The race car is not doing too good, but I guess we're lucky the damage wasn't any worse. I mean, the car's pretty well wiped out. They're trying to get it back together right now, but couldn't tell exactly what happened. Somebody blew a motor, hit the oil, was on the racetrack. I had a choice. I basically had two choices, slaying them guys in the outside fence or try to miss Hutt. I got in the back of Hutt and hope he's all right. It'll be hit pretty hard.
Okay, that's Ricky Rudd. Looks like he's out for at least a little while, if not a long while.
That looks like a whole front clip gone on Ricky Rudd's number 10. Steve Burns.
Well, Bobby Labonte just came back down pit road, Ken. He's been so dominant this afternoon. The team was working on the front air dam of the 18 car. The aerodynamics are a little bit hurt by the incident. They changed right side tires, did not change the left side. So let's check in now with Alan Bestwick.
One of the key points of this caution flag coming out of the timing of it, Steve, the fact that Jeff Burton got by Bobby Labonte when he spun, came around and beat the driver that took over the lead to the caution flag. And so Jeff Gordon, I should say, not Jeff Burton, Jeff Gordon is now back in the lead lap, recovered from the penalty of earlier in the race, and Gordon is back in the thick of things. You need that kind of luck when you're trying to win a championship.
And Bobby Labonte is pitting another time. He's back to 15th position. Really flat spotted those tires. Now here he is in for a second time, easing the number 18 down.
Well, you want to know what it looks like when you lock the brakes up and never get off the brakes. That run right through the cords and right into the inner tire there, blowing the outside tire. But you noticed he didn't get up in the wall. He held that car straight down, let it slide till it gets stopped. He lost his tires, but hey, he didn't tear his car up that bad.
So at 107, who's the leader? This man's the leader. Mark Martin now takes command. He'll have Dale Jarrett in second, Jeff Burton in third, Earnhardt to fourth, Kyle Petty in fifth when we resume. Live at lap 108 of the UAW-GM 500 here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Randy Pemberton can pin down exactly where this altercation in turn 2 began. Randy?
Well, they believe it started with David Green's Caterpillar car. They had the rear end a cap came off of the axle, and that spewed a little grease on the racetrack. Several cars involved. Jeff Bodine, you're one of them. Are you okay?
Did you say a little grease? There's a big strip down through there. I saw the oil or grease, whatever it was, and I was up high. The 91 car went underneath me. He didn't see it. He drove in the side of me, put us both into the wall. I guess I was talking when I hit the wall. I think I bit my tongue, but it's a shame. We started out running really good. We accomplished one thing here, Charlotte. We got a pole, and we weren't running all that bad in the first run. When they let the car down off the jack, and I left the pits after we changed tires, I felt something break, and the car didn't handle after that. It's a shame. Like I say, we had a good car in the beginning, but something broke when we pitted, and we weren't running very good, and then we get involved in this wreck. But that's racing, right?
Okay, that's it. Jeff Bodine, the pole sitter, out for today. Ellen Bestwick.
All right, Ray Evernham has got a smile on his face now. He didn't just a minute ago. He was up out on pit road waving his arms wildly at his driver, Jeff Gordon. They were talking to Jeff. Jeff was not responding. Well, they had about 6 crew guys out on pit road waving their arms wildly. All of a sudden, Jeff started talking to them again. The radio had come unplugged. Ray said, "It gave me a heart attack." So that's the story down here in the 24 pit. Let's go to Steve Burns.
And with Jimmy Makar, the crew chief for Bobby Labonte, Jimmy, you guys were killing them. How's the car now?
Well, obviously we don't know till we go back green, but the only thing that really hurt was the front air dam on the car. When he got sideways, came off the racetrack, it knocked it up a little bit, but we got it back down pretty close to where we were before. So if anything, it may tend to be a little tighter with it messed up a little bit like that, but we were just a little bit loose there that whole first part of the race, so who knows, maybe it'll fix the little looseness.
Well, if they're a little loose, they're still pretty good now. Ken?
14th position for Labonte. Make that 13th position as there's a couple more pit stops taking place. Grissom slides back one. Labonte moves up to 13th. And as to Jeff Gordon, he now is 8th. And this altercation has put 15 cars back in the lead lap. Points as of now, buddy.
Wow, Jeff Gordon still in the lead, but just 97 points back from 135. Mark Martin would be if the race was to end now. Dale Jarrett would be 194, Jeff Burton 315, and Dale Earnhardt 542.
Here's Alan Bestwick.
Ray Evernham, the crew chief for Jeff Gordon, the point leader, has climbed down off the pit box. You can see he's communicating with Jeff. What happened?
His radio came unplugged, and we were about to have a heart attack. We were trying to wave him in, and it was just when his water bottle, when he went to get a drink, he actually unplugged his radio, and he came back on and said, "Hey, what's going on?"
You're back on the lead lap now, back in contention. Was that a big relief?
Yeah, it really is. You know, I mean, I don't know. I would love to know exactly. Sometime I think they should take the crew chiefs up and show us how it's done. You know, when you're racing for $1 or $2 million, it's hard to judge off of somebody that's running a stopwatch by hand. And I'd really like to know how they do that so we could understand it.
Ray Evernham, Jeff Gordon's crew chief. Let's go to Randy Pemberton.
Well, Jimmy Spencer has just come from the infield care center, of course, standing in front of his battered race car. Jimmy, are you okay?
I'm fine. You know, it's really feel bad. You know, my whole race team worked really hard, and Donnie and the crew fed me a great race car again, and we've had a great race car so many times this year, and I don't know if it's luck or whatever. We're in the wrong place at the wrong time, and took us out of the top 5 finish today, and maybe an opportunity to win. But Camel team's strong. We're Winston next year, no bull. Maybe that'll change our luck, but hopefully Gary Selzy, he can uphold the Winston banner today in drag race.
Of course, Jimmy Spencer, the winner of the bumper-to-bumper 300 Busch Grand National race here yesterday, but he's not going to win one today. Guys,
5th DNF did not finish for Jimmy Spencer. If he can't get back in this thing, it looks like that's going to be the case. Working on Schrader's number 33, Mark Martin is now the man to beat. 7 laps under caution. Well, congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Hicks. Kind of hard to figure out who's the bride and who's the groom over there in that collection.
Look at this. Are you hungry?
Goodness. Snack time down there for Dale Earnhardt. Mike Hogwood.
Yeah, they're taking a little break here, having a little pizza. This is one confident race team. Their driver says the car is really coming on. He thinks they've got a great shot today. But Dale Earnhardt has been complaining to crew chief Larry McReynolds that this cleanup crew is not doing a great job. Larry's been talking to the Winston officials here down on pit road, and yeah, the cleanup is going to continue for a little while longer. Dale wants a real clean and green racetrack when they get back on it here in a moment. Now let's go back to the garage, Randy Pemberton.
Another of those involved in the wreck out there, Hut Stricklin, you've come from the infield care center. You say you're okay, but you felt like a pinball in a pinball game out there.
Well, it really did. Right from the start of the race, seemed like, you know, just one of them deals. You know, we got caught up in a thing earlier on, and, you know, right from the start, or actually before things started, and then, you know, we played catch-up all day, and just, I don't know what happened out there. I guess somebody lost some rear end grease or something going in turn 1, and, you know, we saw it, thought we had it missed, and somebody come there and caught us from behind. But, you know, we just wasn't having a good day with this Circuit City Ford. We kept struggling along there, and, you know, I just hate it for everybody at Circuit City and everybody at Kendall Oil. They, you know, really stood behind us this year through thick and thin, and we felt like we had a good run, or was going to have a good run today. It just wasn't meant to be.
Okay, done for the day. Steve Burns.
And with Jimmy Fennick, Mark Martin's crew chief, These guys are trying to win the race, trying to win the Winston Cup Championship. Jimmy, what does Mark say about the car at this point in the race?
Nothing right now. It's kind of early. You know, we started out a little bit through. We made adjustment, got a little bit tight, so we went back. You know, it's early right now, but we'll see. You know, if we can get it just right.
Okay, Jimmy, back upstairs.
173 miles now in the books. Here's Mark Martin leading. Look at the top 10. Musgrave up in there. Michael Waltrip in 9th position, carrying those Wood Brothers colors of old.
Look in 5th spot, Kyle Petty. We watched him get lapped on the racetrack. He made that lap up and is now back in the contention.
And the one to watch, everybody says, is Earnhardt in the number 2. Got the old smile back.
Number 3 is tough anywhere it goes. And, you know, I was a little bit hungry until I seen that boy eating that pizza. He kind of stabbed it.
And there is that number 3 of Dale Earnhardt settling down in 4th position to run down Martin, Jarrett, Burton if he's going to take the lead. How would you describe the Charlotte Motor Speedway? That's what we asked Mark Martin. And this is what he told us.
It's almost the ultimate. Charlotte Motor Speedway is one of the finest racetracks to drive on that you could possibly race. The first time I came here in 1981, I was 22 years old, and I had virtually almost no experience on a super speedway, and it felt like running a local half mile, only faster. It just feels good. I mean, this is a nice racetrack. It's a nice facility.
Mark Martin, who's had a heck of a year, 18 top 10s in the last 21 races. And back on pit road comes Bobby Labonte. Here's Steve Burns.
Ken, we understand Bobby is the last car on the lead lap. They're concerned that they ran over debris during that last incident, so the safe bet is just change 4 tires and head back out.
15th position. 15 cars on the lead lap as Bobby Labonte makes his way back on the track, and we prepare for a restart. This will come at the 117th lap, buddy.
Boy, I tell you what, you know what I was talking about earlier in the race when I said things can change so quickly. It looked like Bobby Labonte had everybody just covered. He had already lapped all the way up to the top 10, and all of a sudden, just one thing on the racetrack, hey, we got a new show here.
David Green is coming back out on the track. Remember, he dumped some fluid out of the transmission and brought out this caution. And we're going back green right now as they enter the 118th lap. 177 miles. When they come around. Mark Martin sprints out in front. Dale Jarrett.
Derek Cope right there. He's on the inside just behind Mark Martin. He would love to try to make up one of those laps that he's down right now. And you see just behind them there, Rusty Wallace in the 2 car really moving around there. As you can see, he would love to get by Mark Martin. And whoa, Dale Jarrett has jumped out into a big lead here.
By 5, 6, 7 car lengths, he pulls away as Derek Cope in the 36, running in 15th position, tried to make up a lap. He was by everyone but Jarrett. Rusty Wallace hugging the inside. He's back there in 17th. He had hoped he was going to get a shot to move up through as well.
Well, you can see down the back straightaway, Mark Martin in the 6 here in the middle. He's just eating the sandwiches. They head off into the corner there. Rusty gets by him.
Here's Rusty trying to make amends with that number 2 Ford. And in that first 100 laps, it was not running like he wanted. Here he comes trying to get it back into this race. Needs to make up a lap. From the rear, the 18 begins to ramble. Steve Burns has words on that leader, number 88, Dale Jarrett.
Ken, I talked to Todd Parrott, the crew chief on the 88 just moments ago, and he said that they are a little bit tight off the corner. Now, Buddy Baker can explain this. They made a track bar adjustment to compensate for that tightness coming off the turns.
Well, what they do, they go up on the track bar to give it a little different roll center, and it also makes the car a little bit looser, so it'll make it come off the corner a lot straighter and not push the front end as he starts off the corner. Leader by 12 car lengths. Battle for 5th right here.
Terry Labonte, Earnhardt just in front of him. And just behind Terry Labonte comes Jeff Gordon.
You can see Jeff Gordon really running well down the straightaway. He's a little bit quicker than Terry, it seems, on the straightaway. You see him hanging right on the back bumper as they go through the corner.
Meanwhile, the guy that was leading the race, Bobby Labonte, who has come up from 15th spot, he is scrambling to move back up and catch those leaders. Here he is under Ricky Craven. He's just passed Michael Waltrip, who's in that lead lap. Bobby Labonte now in 12th as he put 21 a position back. Ricky Craven's running the lap down.
You know, they worked on the front of this car. They got the front valence back a little bit, but Bobby Labonte's car looks just as strong as before the accident, so he didn't do that much damage to the front of the car. It looks like it has good downforce yet.
Here he comes, streaking down to the bottom of the track, and he is underneath Musgrave. And that's going to bring him up into 11th position. He's coming after Grissom next for 10th position, the number 41, the white green numeraled automobile, going into turn 1. First time today that Bobby Labonte has had to struggle up through the field, running heavy traffic. Grissom holds him off, stays in 10th. Bobby comes back after him.
Well, you can see Musgrave driving very hard down in there just behind Bobby Labonte. Bobby Labonte actually got the car down below the white line. That's how good it's working. Right now he's being very patient, but look how fast that car is. He goes to the outside there on Grissom. Watch in the corner here. He just goes right on, pulls 1-2 car lengths on anybody in the middle part of the corner.
He's going to end up in a box up there right now on that high side. Michael Waltrip taking whether the RCA car Andretti liking that high line today, staying out there. The 22 car is the next one to pass.
Look at the battle for the lead here. Jeff Burton has moved right up on Dale Jarrett down the front straightaway as they head down the first turn. It looks like Burton, he's going in the corner. He's taking the lead.
Looking for win number 4 this year. Jeff Burton scoots down to the bottom. What they were talking about with Dale Jarrett's handling problem certainly demonstrated there.
Yeah, and just behind them, Rusty Wallace has moved in here. He wants that lap back. He's fighting to get back in that lead lap. This car is running much better. Mark Martin there joins in the fight.
Rusty Wallace trying to close it up.
Looking at the steering wheel in Mark Martin's car, it looks like it's welded in the corner. He is not fighting that car at all. You talk about a car getting around this racetrack. It's very, very stable. This car is doing everything Mark Martin wants it to do. He drops back on restarts because his car is set up for long runs. He's not quite as quick as other people on the get-go, but look at him now close in on the leaders.
There they are, first, second, and third. Number 2 lap car in there. Here's Rusty Wallace trying to get back to the lead lap. And Bobby Labonte continues to circulate and try to move his way up through this field. He is past Grissom. He is past, or is closed on Burton in the 22 right now. Almost had him as he went into the corner. Now he's at a far end of the racetrack in turn 3. And there goes that 22 down to the inside. Chad Little mixing it up with him there.
3 Pontiacs dueling it out there.
The 22 is your 9th place car. Ward Burton. And in 10th is Bobby Labonte. We'll take a break and rejoin the action here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. In the UAW-GM 500 as Bobby Labonte claws his way back through the field. Folks that are working on the new show, Turn Original Productions, in the 50th anniversary of NASCAR, up for next spring on TBS. Well, what a situation we have here. Number 99, Jeff Burton is out in front. Dale Jarrett finds himself second. Martin third. And Kyle Petty, buddy, up into that 4th spot with Earnhardt fifth.
You're exactly right. Kyle Petty looked like he was shot out of a rocket. He just took off, and all of a sudden he started dropping back a little bit. But right now he's in the same straightaway with the leaders and running a very comfortable 4th.
Randy Pemberton has more.
First, let's document how he got his lap back. He was 1 lap down when that wreck occurred. He was able to make up 15 car lengths, get by Bobby Labonte, race back to the start-finish line. Kyle Petty back on the lead lap. Beyond that, I talked to crew chief Bobby Kennedy and asked him if they had made any adjustments in the car today. Just a little bit of wedge to take out some looseness for the 44 Hot Wheels car. One thing that Kyle Petty may have an advantage here at Charlotte is the fact that these tires are the same exact tires that they ran at Dover. If you race fans watched the race 2 weeks ago at Dover, Kyle Petty absolutely killed them. When the race pace slows down and the track gets a little bit sloppy, they got to get out of the gas a little bit early. Kyle Petty sets the car in the corner and comes off hard. And I'll tell you what, this racetrack's coming to him. He's going to the front.
There's Kyle Petty. There's fourth spot. Earnhardt's just behind him. By the way, Jeff Gordon is in 6th. Now in 7th is Terry Labonte in the number 5. And up to 8 comes Bobby Labonte. He has passed Ward Burton. And Benson also went by Ward, who slipped back into the 9th position. Well, Wally Dallenbach's been out for a few more laps, and he's back in again. So there's that 18 trying to close up on his brother.
Look at this. Dale Jarrett's running Burton back down there. The 99 is Burton as they head down in turn 3. I believe Jarrett's car is really working well on old tires. You see him right there. He moved right up on the back bumper there as they come out of turn 4.
What has been lost has been regained for Dale Jarrett in the 88. He had to surrender the front position for a while.
Yeah, but the bad news messenger sitting right there behind them. Look at Mark Martin move in here. He's running these guys down from a 15-car deficit now to make it down to about 4 car lengths.
He is having such a phenomenal run, Mark Martin, at the present time. Here's the 88, back on the inside. Dale Jarrett taking first place as they work toward the end of lap 140.
Here comes Mark Martin on the inside, passing Burton and moving right up on the back bumper of Jarrett as they head down into turn 1.
So Burton back to 3rd. Kyle Petty stays 4th. Earnhardt 5th. Gordon 6th. Terry Labonte 7th. Bobby Labonte in 8th. Johnny Benson 9th. And Ward Burton in 10th. Grissom now falling to 11th. Mark Martin, there's their leader, 6th thus far. Lead changes 8th, couple of cautions. Major wreck here in turn number 2 that took nearly 10 laps to clean up. Fastest lap at a 177, buddy. Whoa.
You know, we were talking just a little while ago about the 2 car of Rusty Wallace trying to get his lap back. Well, he was right up against the leaders, but as they go along, he seems to be fading back. One car that is not is running right there with him is Dale Earnhardt. He's really picking them up and putting them down right now.
Take a look at that Dale Jarrett out in front. His dad, Ned Jarrett, has said this kid is a much better race driver than I ever dreamed of being because he is such a great athlete. He's taken a lot of bad along with a lot of good because of his name, but he's proven he's his own man. He sure has. 3rd in the Winston Cup points, fighting with Mark Martin back there in 2nd and 3rd, and both of them closing up on Jeff Gordon this afternoon.
It makes you wonder when you read the paper. We read that we felt that the Chevrolets were going to have an advantage. If they have it, they're not showing it right now because the first 3 cars are Ford.
The one that had the advantage early and dominated for those first 100 laps was the Pontiac. If you're just joining us, it was all Bobby Labonte by as much as 7.5, 8 seconds. Despite all the talk regarding the added quarter-inch of spoiler for the Chevrolets, only 1 lap today has been led by a Chevy buddy.
Look at Mark Martin going into the lead, going down in the corner there. He is hooked up.
By the way, that 1 lap was Jeff Purvis, and that was in an exchange of pit stops.
I want you to look, though, just look at the 3 Fords there and look right on the back quarter panel there. Kyle Petty has run these guys down in Pontiac.
Ford front 3, and there's the Hot Wheels Pontiac. Sure are hot right now. Kyle is closing ground, moving in on the front 3. We're at lap number 144 of the UAW-GM 500. We've covered 216 miles. There's 284 to go to decide it. 149 laps complete, working 150 of the UAW-GM 500 Charlotte Motor Speedway. 140,000 folks are here today, plus enjoying a beautiful afternoon in North Carolina and a race that's been dominated by a surprise. Big surprise in the early going. Bobby Labonte for Joe Gibbs, the Pontiac out in front. But now it's Mark Martin with the lead after a several car jam session up in turn number 2. Turned this race around, has made Bobby Labonte fight his way back to the field, which he is doing. He is currently being shown in 7th spot. He's run down his brother Terry, passed him, picked up another spot, and he's closing on Gordon. Meanwhile, in the pits, this report from Alan Bestwick.
Ken, let's talk about Jeff Gordon for a minute, just to kind of go back and recap some of the stories we did at the top of the race. Jeff Gordon, the point leader, up by 135 coming into the event. Got a stop-and-go penalty for speeding, leaving pit road on his first green flag stop. He lost a lap, made it up when Bobby Labonte crashed at lap number 104. He is 6th right now as there's caution on the racetrack.
Caution indeed after John Andretti went high up here in turn number 3, slid along the wall.
Oh, he hit the wall pretty hard, and you see Jeff Purvis there. He has a lot of damage to the right side. He got in the wall also.
So that would be the 3rd caution of the day.
You can see why he got in there. The rear spoiler on that car is missing on the right-hand side. I would speculate that he probably knocked it off when he hit the wall. That's the reason we're under caution right now. 3rd caution, maybe some debris up there, as a couple of cars whale the concrete in turn number 4 in lap number 150. Under yellow, this will bunch them all back up. This is a big advantage for Bobby Labonte as he continues his charge back up the hill and into this fight with Martin 1st, Jarrett 2nd, Petty 3rd, Jeff Burton in 4th, Earnhardt 5th, Gordon 6th, and then Bobby, who, as we just mentioned, passed his brother Terry. Kyle Petty is the man of the hour, however. That Pontiac he's running is in the 3rd spot. He hasn't won since the spring of '95 at Dover. And as Buddy Baker was saying, he's having a whale of a day. He is that. The King's boy, I tell you what, that apple didn't fall far from the tree. A lot of people wrote him off, but everybody deep in the that know racing like we do knows this boy can drive. Here's Randy.
Kyle Petty came screaming in the pits. He missed it, had to back up. Tire changer's going to work. Travis Block on the front. Craig Lung on the rear. He's going to take a half around to wedge out Kyle down the way. Mike Hogwood.
Mark Martin, the leader, is in the pits. They are going 4 tires and fuel, and they are going to change the setup just a bit, going back to their original setup. Mark says the car is almost perfect.
Here they are on the charge.
Earnhardt comes out 2nd.
Wow. Jarrett pulls it off. Earnhardt 2nd, Martin 3rd. And there you see Gordon right in there behind them as they wheel back out after the pit road was opened. Track position, everything, buddy?
Well, this brings the new... I guarantee you we'll have something to talk about when they drop the green flag this time.
So Earnhardt very much in the thick of this thing. Never a good qualifier, but when it comes to racing, it says it all, 7-time Winston Cup champion. But it's been a while, 54, since he's tasted victory. Commercial break and then back. Ready to resume the UAW-GM 500 here in Charlotte. Top 5 for Earnhardt fans. Happy days are here again. Take a look at how he annexed that 2nd spot on this restart, buddy.
Let me tell you, he's aggressive on pit road even. Pit crew does a great job. These guys coming out behind him here. Watch Earnhardt come out here. He just takes over 2nd spot. You see Dale Jarrett going by. He just pulls right over on Martin there and takes that spot.
How about a word from Mike Hogwood?
Dale Earnhardt had wanted no changes in this car. Said they were running fast as the leaders before they pitted. But he told the crew what a great job they did on this pit stop. Indeed it was. And Dale says, hey guys, it must have been that pizza. Y'all keep doing that during the race.
Better get a few more real quick. Get the oven heated up. Dale Earnhardt's number 3, now ready to challenge for 1st place on Dale Jarrett.
You know, I talked to him about, is the fire really there? The winning, is it like it used to be to you? And he had some interesting thoughts.
I'm just as excited for the excitement of it, to be close to winning again or the opportunity to win again. You know the next race could be your race. the teams come around well. So it's an exciting feeling that doesn't never go away.
For Earnhardt, I don't think it matters at all. Any race, short track, whatever it is, he'll run it just as hard as he can. And it must have been frustrating these last weeks, trying to get it back and then getting close, 2 seconds in a row. Will this be the day when he gets that checker?
He looks like a bad kid got away with something when he starts grinning. I think, he's perfect.
All right, the man in black is back. He's in second spot. Jarrett's up in front. As we take a look here at downtown Charlotte, North Carolina, the Nations Bank building, just down the street here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Back with more shortly. Well, they're still dusting off the track here in the main straightaway. A lot of kitty litter down. Let's take a look at a pit roundup here. Find out what these folks did. Take a look at Mark Martin. Came in first, currently third. Dale Jarrett, he had a good stop, if you remember. How about Earnhardt? 10th. Getting right back in there. All right, let's go down and get our pit reports and start with Steve Burns.
Well, Ken, just before the caution period, Alan Bestwick updated the 24 car. Now, at the beginning of the race, I talked to Mark Martin. If you'll remember, he said, this car is very flexible. We can make a lot of changes to it. Now, what that means is anytime they make an adjustment to the car, they're making a compromise. Well, they made an adjustment on the last pit stop. Now they're back to their original setup. So, again, the 6 car doing a good job of adapting to the track conditions. And I believe Randy has an update on Terry Labonte.
Well, we talked about Terry Labonte's dismal season to date, but not today. After starting 43rd, he has made a hard charge to the front of this field. He is currently 7th. On the first few pit stops, they made very few adjustments. Now they're just really tweaking the car. The last pit stop for Terry Labonte, a pound out of each the right rear and left rear, trying to correct a loose problem. If they don't get it with that, they're going to go ahead and drop the track bar that Buddy Baker was talking about early. Maybe that'll get them to the front. Now to Mike Hogwood.
Well, we told you about Dale Earnhardt running second right now. He started 19th in this race. The crew has made adjustments on every pit stop. Dale says he thinks they've got it. He thinks the track has come to him. Watch out for the Intimidator, the man in black. He is ready to race here at Charlotte.
Jarrett, Earnhardt, Martin, Gordon, front 4. Jeff Burton in for 5th. Kyle Petty, 6th. There's that Amoco mid-race report. 6 leaders thus far in the event. 10 lead changes and the speed down to 135, well off the record. They were over the record for a considerable amount of time, and now they're well away from that 1993 mark of Ernie Irvan at 154.5 miles an hour. Some of the victims of this race will take one more break, and then I think we're ready for some green flag racing here at the UAW-GM 500. Off that banking. 1, 2, 3. As they come to the line, caution is coming out. A big wreck late in the race sent Jeff Gordon to his first Daytona 500 win under caution. The first race at the Texas Motor Speedway, all eyes on Jeff Burton in that event. It was a day of firsts, and for the first green flag. Big crash in the center of the field. Collecting 2, 3 cars as they broke away. Jeff Burton taking his first Winston Cup win. Here he comes. Around, headed for checkers. Ernie Irvan is finally going to win. The track that nearly did him in. Ernie Irvan for the checkered flag, and he won the Michigan 400. Back to Daytona for the Pepsi 400. And the last lap shootout that ended with a bang. Mark Martin. Let's see who wins this Here we come off the line. It's going to be John Andretti winning and Terry Labonte finishing second. The battle for third goes Sterling Martin with Jarrett fifth. Andretti taking his first Cup victory. The Brickyard is now looked on as one of the top events in NASCAR. And this year, strategy and gas mileage proved a factor in putting the surprise winner, Ricky Rudd, in victory lane for his second 97 win.
Here he goes. Look here. Oh, they make contact. They make contact. They go down into the corner side by side. And Jeff
Jeff Gordon beat Jeff Burton, becoming only the second driver in NASCAR history to win the Winston Million. Some of the highlights thus far, 1997, the Winston Cup Trail. And there's some of the beauty of North Carolina on this golden day down here, and a great day for this 500-mile race. And there you see those top 10.
Boy, I tell you what, you saw Jeff Gordon there holding up the $1 million check. Today, he's probably going to go over $4 million in this race.
Getting ready to finally go green. They've dusted this track about 3 times with Speedy Dry, particularly the main straightaway. It's greasy out there, and I'm sure those crews are hearing from their drivers to get as much kitty litter down anywhere they possibly can to get any kind of a grip on this thing. Well, get a grip on your chair, because here we go. It's Jarrett and Earnhardt. Sounds like Daytona replay, number 8 or 9, with Mark Martin right there in that 3rd position. Jeff Gordon in 4th as the pace car rolls in, and they're ready to wheel away and restart at lap 163.
Okay, they're going.
Jarrett gets a good jump there. There's 2 cars on the inside. Would love to make up a lap. Ernie Irvan in 28. Also Rusty Wallace, but he's not going to be able to do it. You see a great job. Look at Earnhardt come to the outside as he heads for the back straightaway.
Now it's the old Ford Chevy battle. 140,000 love this kind of thing. And the Pontiac not far away, ready to mix it up. Down the main straightaway. Here's Earnhardt. Earnhardt to the inside. He's got that spot he loves. And they're up and roaring as he comes across the line. Earnhardt goes out in front, the 7th different leader today. The man in black is definitely back.
Look at the grandstand reacts there. That's the back straightaway even they're standing up. They didn't see the pass for the lead, but you could tell Earnhardt was in the lead. Just some noise for the crowd here is deafening.
Ernie Irvan, Rusty Wallace, lap machines trying to get back into it. Here comes Jarrett back another time. Ah, this is a classic.
Now, what this does, it lets these 2 cars that are trying to get their lap back really close in on them as they run side by side. Give it to Earnhardt by half a car left. Here comes Jarrett back.
And Gordon comes to 3rd. Martin falls to 4th.
Look at Ernie Irvan on the inside there, passing Jarrett, making it 3 wide going in the corner.
Me. Ernie Irvan tucks it right on the bottom. Climbs up there for a shot at Earnhardt and back into that lead lap. Rusty Wallace just behind Dale Jarrett's number 88. Mark Martin is back 4th overall. Number 9, Lake Speed, may have grazed the wall. He's coming in slowly. In fact, he came down the main straightaway, then cut across the grass. Yellow is out. They're going to put another caution out. I'm telling you, this track is greasy.
They're racing back to the flag. Can Ernie Irvan make up his lap as they come off turn 4? No, Earnhardt is too much.
Earnhardt's not going to let that happen. Got enough on his hands. Doesn't need Irvan. Earnhardt stays 1st, Jarrett 2nd, Gordon 3rd, Mark Martin in 4th. And you've got Jeff Burton 5th and Kyle Petty in 6th. Bobby Labonte up to 7th. He's passed Terry Labonte, put him back to 8th. Randy, can you tell us more about what happened to Lake Speed?
No, Lake Speed just came out of turn 4, and the engine was cut off. So just cruised through turn 4, hung a left on the racetrack, went into the infield, and went to his pit.
And there you see him now back behind Victory Circle. Hoods up on the number 9 for Lake Speed. We check this track very carefully. It's turned into a skating rink with all the wonderful Indian summer heat that we're enjoying here. What about Alan Bestwick? Can he tell us more?
Well, Ken, there was a lot of radio traffic going back and forth between the crew chiefs and the drivers just before that start, saying that with as much oil dry put down on the speedway as there was, they wanted their drivers to really be careful and make sure they didn't slip, particularly coming off turn 4. Maybe slip and catch that outside wall with the right side of the car. And the racing we saw with Earnhardt and Jarrett and Irvan, for that matter, didn't look like they were being too careful, and perhaps that's what might have caught up Lake Speed. He might have just slipped up the racetrack there and popped the wall with the right side of that car.
Crowd up and cheering Earnhardt as he comes by as they get ready to go racing in 1 lap. Enthusiastic folks here. They may have booed him in the past, but they love him today. Earnhardt has said, if they're making noise, that's all that matters.
Hey, that's all that counts. The only thing you don't want to hear is nothing.
Is silence. The Earnhardt fans have got their stuff out, and they're excited about the potential for this one. Turn it all around after 54 losses and some of those heartbreakers like Talladega a year ago, and he got so busted up, and he still refused to be put on a cart to be hauled away. He walked. Broken sternum, broken shoulder. He was not going to be laid down. He was going to go upright out of that racetrack. Here he is out in front. Dale Jarrett's right there. Gordon's in third. Mark Martin in fourth. Get ready. Pace car coming in. Lap 168 to be completed. They said they want another lap. They want another lap. Kevin LePage is re-entering the fray. Remember, he was involved in that altercation up in turn 2 when he got crossed up with Jeff Bodine after the 96. David Green dumped transmission oil all over the outside of the fourth turn and collected 6 cars out there.
Wow, I mean, look at this car. That just shows a lot of determination for the sponsor on the back of the car. Going out there, even though the car is torn up as badly as it is, Kevin LePage just trucks right on.
We got viewers everywhere.